Hey everybody, welcome to this new episode of Heroes Trek with me, your host, Samir. I'm happy to see you once again. I hope you're safe and sound and that everyone's doing well. I'm here today to talk about not comics, but something else in my other playlist or channel. It's called Life, the Universe, and Everything. It's where I talk about life, the universe, and everything. And it's a callback to a book by Douglas Adams. I think you know which one I'm talking about. Before we get to the video itself, why don't you click that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and also you can tweet at Heroes Trek. I would love to hear from you guys, and it's great to be part of a wonderful fan community. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about how the coronavirus has really changed our lives. And it's a new series that I want to start up just based not only just on coronavirus, but it's called Have You Noticed? Have you noticed? This particular one, and Have You Noticed will be like a series of videos that I do based on kind of like, maybe funny, maybe not so funny comments on life and the absurdities that are going on around us. Because there are quite a few absurdities, like the lack of it, being able to get a haircut, making us look like we're all back from the 70s again, to all these different crazy things that are going on. My previous video where I talked about the quest for TP or toilet paper, which you can find, I'll put the information up there. This is a crazy time, and so today's video is going to be a short one based on Have You Noticed? So have you noticed that before the coronavirus, if the elevator door was closing and you were right there, you'd be running to that door to put your hand between that to stop it. And even if the elevator was packed full of people and a crying baby, you'd squeeze yourself in to get to your apartment or go up into the building. How things have changed, because have you noticed now when the elevator door is closing and you can hear the people inside, you actually slow down because you just don't want to stop that elevator. You just want to keep going. Same thing, like have you noticed? Now, the other day, I was in the elevator and the door opened and somebody was there and there's nobody else inside the elevator with me. They took a look and I had of course, I was pretty daunting. Maybe I looked like Batman. I had my mask on. I had my surgical gloves, like I'm going for surgery, but I'm not a doctor. And I was, I looked up and they looked and they said, they stepped back. They said, maybe they had the mask on as well. And they stepped back and they let me ride the elevator alone. And it was which was something that never happens before the coronavirus. So that's another change, right? So, and have you noticed that, you have to keep social distancing? So I was in the garage the other day and I'm opening the door and I see somebody coming from behind, about maybe 20 feet away. Normally you'd hold the door or not, I was twisted and conflicted. Should I hold the door or not? But if I hold the door, I lose social distancing. If I lose social distancing, what's going to happen? These are the type of thoughts that come into your mind for a split second. And so sad to say, I actually I did not hold the door. I rushed in and of course acted like I did not see that person. I got to the elevator, I went to the elevator and I was praying okay, this person is coming. I feel so bad that I didn't hold the door open for them. But they came in and they saw that, nobody's, they didn't want to get in the elevator as well. So they were keeping social distancing as well. And the elevator went back up and I went back up on my own. So that's a difference. Have you noticed that? Well, how about this? Have you noticed that before the coronavirus, you'd drive around or walk around and, I would feel so bad. You'd see in the window, sometimes cats or dogs staring at the window with this look on their face. I just can't wait to go out. Well, have you noticed? After the coronavirus and this quarantine, you not only see the dog, but right next to the dog or cat is their owner or people, or just people in the windows, say, looking out the window. And sometimes I find myself looking at out the window and saying, I wish I could go out. I wish I could go out. I know how the dogs and cats feel now. Have you noticed that before the coronavirus and stuff, young couples would get together and go out to a restaurant and have a date outside? Now, young couples stay in and have a date inside. Times are changing, aren't they? Can you say baby boom in December? Just saying. But also, have you noticed how life has changed so much? I'm sure you have. And that's kind of a sad thing, isn't it? But we have to take the joy that we can. Because have you noticed that before the coronavirus, when we would get ready for work and rush our kids off to school, we'd see each other, our wives, our husbands, our children, our families, only for a little bit, like in the morning and maybe in the evening for dinner and an hour or two there, and everybody was so busy. But now, after the coronavirus and due to the quarantine, have you noticed we've gotten closer? Closer with our spouses, closer with our children, and we get to spend more time with them. So maybe this is one way of enjoying the quarantine and making the best out of a situation that is quite frankly scary. Maybe this is a way to say, you know what? I'm spending time with my family. And guess what? In times that are bad, have you noticed? Your family is your strength and your courage. So those are the kind of things that I've noticed before coronavirus and after. Of course, before coronavirus, I went to the store. If I had to go out, I just put my jacket on if it's cold, or if not, I just walk right out. Now, I've got to prepare for surgery. I've got to make sure I have my mask on. I have to make sure I have my gloves on. I have to make sure I keep social distancing. I have to make sure about all these things. And have you noticed that every time somebody coughs or sneezes, I feel bad for them, because everybody around them just starts getting this panic look on their face. I know, it's human nature. But have you also finally noticed that when, I was out the other day standing on an incredibly long line at Aldi, not only just because of social distancing, but because people were or are hoarding food, and I don't blame people for that. But I noticed somebody with the mask on, right? Because everybody's supposed to wear their mask now, but it was hanging off their face and on their ear, and they were just walking around. What's the point? So, all these things combined into have you noticed, and have you noticed how different life has become and changed, for better or worse? These are things that we've noticed, and that I noticed, and I want to share with you. So this is my first video, Have You Noticed? I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll be back with some more Have You Noticed things. Remember, until then, keep noticing the dogs, the cats, and the people staring out the windows with a longing look in our faces of just going out. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and we're, like I said, like everyone's saying, we're all in this together, and I hope to see you again in another episode of Heroes Trek real soon. Until then, click that like button, click the subscribe button, and you can tweet us at Heroes Trek. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care.